Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? Did you do anything fun this week? Did you do anything for yourself? I think our little pumpkin here did a little too much of the Monster Mash last night. So, yes. Or too much brewing, stayed up too late brewing in his cauldron. I'm not sure which one. So, how was your week? Sean had a busy weekend. I would have thought things would have kind of started slowing down a little bit this week, or going October, but it hasn't. But that's okay. At least animals are getting the help they need. That's the most important thing, right? And so that's why we're here, for the busyness, to talk about how you can what things you can do to prevent your burnout or work through your burnout, or even if you're already doing it, to confirm that what you're doing is helping you, even if you don't realize it. And sometimes just having that mental thought of that confirmation that you're doing it helps so much. Okay. So as we're talking about things that we're putting in our body, we're going to talk about what you're cooking your food with. Cooking oil or butter. So this is part one. We're going to talk about cooking oil today. Next week we'll talk about getting to butter, or the different cooking oils. Why is this important? How does it affect burnout? Because what you eat determines how you feel and how you feel at work. Like sometimes what you eat can really make you feel like shit, and you don't want to feel that way. You want to feel good, have energy, to be able to do what's best for the animals, right? So again, what you put in your body, if it's heavily processed, if it's something that your system's not agreeing with, one, you're going to feel like shit. Two, you may end up being in the bathroom a lot, and you don't want to do that either. Okay? So anyways, remember, I'm providing information. You need to figure out what's best for you and do what's best for you. If you're already doing it, great. Keep doing it. All right? So here we go. Vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is a blend of oils from various plants such as corn syrup, soybean, canola, and sunflower. It is heavy on omega-6 fatty acids, which can lead to inflammation. It can lead to inflation too. Sorry. Inflammation. It can lead to inflammation. And it can cause chronic disease. Not good, right? You also, and two, chronic disease, like, think about chronic stress. You know, despite everything that goes on, no matter what you do, you're still going to be stressed from work. It's especially if you're in emergency, or if you just had a shitty day because all your patients were not great cases with a great outcome. So you're going to have that. It's going to be there. It's going to build up. So you don't want to add to that, right? Vegetable oil is also heavily processed. Again, you know, talked about processed, especially when I talked about organic versus natural. We talked about process there. We talked about process last week. If you haven't watched them, go back and watch them. The oil is extracted using chemicals and high heat, which destroys many of its natural nutrients. So, again, high heat. I talked about it last week with the honey. It takes away the natural nutrients. And plus, adding chemicals to something. Why are we adding chemicals to something? When you add chemicals to your, to the oil that you're cooking your food in, it goes in your food, you're putting it in your body. Less chemicals in your skin, the better. Or less chemicals in your body, the better, right? Canola oil. Canola oil is generally extracted with chemicals, solvents such as hexane, produced through a chemical extraction, refinement, and bleaching process. And it has no antioxidants in it. So again, chemicals, high heat, bleaching. Why do you want that in your body? Think about it, okay? So canola oil is heavily processed. So canola oil is in vegetable oil. Canola oil is what makes one of the two things that makes vegetable oil heavily processed. The other thing is the high heat, because it takes the nutrients away from it, the natural nutrients. When you do the other oils that's in vegetable oils, individually, they're not so bad. But putting it all together, adding that canola oil in, adding the high heat to the process, makes them heavily processed and takes away the nutrients. So my advice to you is no vegetable oil, no canola oil. Because if you're feeling like shit, that's what's making it do it, because it's heavily processed. All right. So let's start talking about olive oil. So you have olive oil, you have extra virgin olive oil. We'll get into that. Olive oil. Olive oil can be labeled as light, classic, or pure. It's typically less expensive. This is regular olive oil, not extra virgin or virgin. This is regular olive oil. So it's typically less expensive and much lighter in color because it's processed, treated with heat or chemicals to remove any impurities. It results in less flavor and less pure, even though it's named or labeled as pure, than extra virgin olive oil. So in other words, if possible, stay away from regular olive oil. You want to go extra virgin. But you got to do what's best for you. I did put in the description, it's an article, it's talking about like the difference between virgin olive oil and extra virgin olive oil, but there's a chart in there. It does talk about like regular olive oil too. It's really interesting. The article's interesting, but the chart's also interesting as well. So it breaks down the differences between all the olive oils, or labeling of olive oils. Okay, so extra virgin olive oil. It is cold pressed olives that retains a strong flavor and beneficial nutrients. No heat. If you get like a high quality bottle, you should be able to taste layers of like grassy pepper notes. Grassy pepper notes. It has to meet a certain standard and criteria as outlined by the International Olive Council. Yes, there is an International Olive Council. Kind of like how if your hospital is trying to get AHA certified or VEX certified to be AHA accredited hospital or VEX 1, you have certain things you have to meet. Though I believe that the International Olive Council is a lot stricter than them, especially nowadays. But anyways, yes, I said it. Or yes, I said what I said. So anyways, it's very interesting. There's also a video too in the article that talks about the International Olive Council. It's a short video. It's like, I think less than 4 minutes. I think it's like 3 minutes and some odd seconds or something. But it's really interesting. Definitely take a look at it. It's in one of the articles that is in the link. Also as well, I've seen them in major cities. I don't know if they could be in some smaller cities depending, but they're literally olive oil stores. I know one of them in Charlotte, North Carolina is called Olive This. We used to shop there when we were in Charlotte, and it has different flavors of olive oils. So, because olive oil you can use for other things other than like just cooking your food in. But they have different flavors. Some of them you can actually sample to see which one you like. As well. So I would definitely check that out. Some of them too, I know Olive This used to do this. I'm assuming they still do. and probably most of the other ones do as well. But if you return the bottle, because it's in a glass bottle, which we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's in a glass bottle. So if you when you use it all, you return it, you get a discount on your next purchase for returning the bottle, because they reuse the bottles. Of course, they clean them and reuse them, but yes, which is really nice. But not all of them are called All of This. It's not like a franchise or chain or anything. They're called different. They have different names in different cities. So definitely look it up and check it out as well. So, and it's also interesting because you also talk to the people about the process and how they get it and yada, yada, yada. I mean, they're like really into it. So you learn more about it, and definitely make sure you're getting what you want or what you need. Other thing you use is avocado oil. So we used avocado oil. Avocado oil is an edible oil extracted from the pulp of avocado. But here's the thing. You need to be aware of potential adulteration with cheaper oils like soy or canola, which is a problem in the industry due to a lack of strict U.S. regulations for avocado oil. So it may be best to avoid the cheapest brands and look for products with clear sourcing and processing information. So in other words, like I was talking about with the honey last week, if you didn't watch that video, go back and watch it, talking about sugars and sweeteners, where with the honey, they add the fructose corn syrup and sugar to be able to cheapen the honey. So same thing with the avocado oil. They add the soy and canola oil to cheapen the oil. So you're not getting pure avocado oil. You're getting a processed oil. So again, make sure that you check the back of it. You're getting what you need, or you're getting what you're paying for, or what you're wanting. So I use avocado oil. Sean uses butter. Every now and then he'll eat some of what I'm cooking and have avocado oil. It does fine with his system. But we'll get into that later. The other thing is sunflower seed oil. Sunflower seed oil is good. It all depends on what you're wanting, like what flavor you're wanting, like coconut oil, sunflower seed oil. It depends on what you want. Sunflower seed oil they actually use in cosmetic products as well. So yes. Now, you also have sesame oil. Here's the thing with sesame oil. It is a common allergen. So just be aware that it is a common allergen. So I don't know if it's as common as peanut allergies or not, but it's a common allergy, kind of like peanut allergies, okay? So just be aware of that. So how do you know what you're getting, right? That you're getting something good other than reading the label. And sometimes you can't necessarily trust the label, right? As we found out with other things, because they work their way around it with the wording. They find the loopholes. So when you're buying these products, first and foremost, glass jar. Dark glass jar. Why are we wanting it for a dark glass jar? Because it presents in a dark glass jar. It prevents oxidation. It preserves nutrients, and it extends the shelf life. Now, this is important in a sense because how much oil do you use cooking, right? How much do you really use? So you want it to go a long way, right? Especially now with inflation and the cost of things. And if you're starting to buy organic, like it's going to be more expensive. So you're going to get full use out of that, right? So you want to extend the shelf life to be extended as much as you can, okay? To be able to get all of it, depending on how much you use at a time. When you store it, you want to make sure you store it in a dark cabinet or a cool, dark cabinet or pantry away from a heat source like a stove. Okay, so that will make sure that it stays You still have your nutrients. You still have everything that you want from it. Or, yeah, that's good word. All right. And then most important, organic. Organic, organic, organic. Okay. I can't stress that enough. The less processed, the better. When you do something organic, you're going to feel better. Now, again, do your research. You're going to have to do what's best for you. I recommend organic. I recommend, any of the other oils other than vegetable and canola oil. Don't do any of that. If it has any of that in it, don't use it. But again, you need to do what's best for you. Everybody's body reacts differently. And so I say that in a sense, like if you start using something different and you continue to not feel well or you're not feeling well, then try something new. There are so many different oils out there. Like I said, you have sunflower seed oil, you have coconut oil, you have avocado oil, you have the olive oil, sesame oil. Like there's so much out there. So you have a lot of different options if your body does not respond well to a couple of them. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So yes. And then, and of course, everything you want to eat in moderation. Even a good thing, too much of a good thing is bad for you. Okay? So moderation and organic. Now, if you need someone to talk to, remember, have Lifeboat with NOMV, not One More Vet. So that's more of a peer-to-peer. So you can talk to someone who is doing the same thing or in the same field of veterinary medicine as you are. Remember, it's 72 hours for them to respond at first go round, 24 hours after that. If you need to speak to someone immediately, 988. And you can also text 988 as well. So if you I understand not having the courage or it's hard taking that initial step to actually call someone to say, hey, I need help. Sometimes it's easier to text. So yes, you can either call 988 or text 988. You can also text home to 741-741. So you have 2 texts. All of these are in the description. There's also a link with NOMV that goes to more resources that you want, that may suit you better for whatever you need. Please don't hesitate to use it. Also to NOMV, not One More Vet, just because it has the word veterinarian in it does not mean that technicians cannot use these resources. They are there for technicians. So reach out if you need that. And 2, as we get further into times that we are in, reach out to NOMV. They help, or I should reach out. Look through their website. They also help with financial aid and assistance with different things if you need that. So look through. Don't hesitate to reach out. That's what they're there for. They do not take government funding, so they don't fall under the shutdown with the government or anything like that. They're still open. They're still available for you. So, yes, please, if you need anything, take a look through their website. All right. And on that note, and at the end quote I have, remember what you do matters. And the world is a better place with you in it. It actually, I got it from a company that started that, and they put it on hoodies, shirts, and stuff on the back of the shirt. It's something nice, I guess, to wear out if, you never know someone who needs it. So that website is also in the description as well if you would like to order that. So anyways, end this off. Next week we'll talk about butter. Butter. All right. So inspired by an old poem, you may not know that the world needs you, but it does. For no one else can smile your smile, say your piece, shine your light. You are unique and you alone can fill your place. If you were not here to shine your light, what would happen to the pilgrims passing by your empty place in the darkness without your light to help them on their way? You may not know that the world needs you, but it does. Remember, what you do matters, and the world is a better place with you in it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care.